These food items are about to skyrocket in price. Let's discuss. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's been a long weekend. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano on your Sunday morning. Thank you for joining us. We have some things we have to talk about. We are expecting, because of all the different information that has been coming out about different food recalls, we already know that stores are starting to wipe down areas where there has been boar's head meats. We know that there's cleaning processes going on in different stores because of the huge boar's head possible listeria outbreak. I like how they always say possible, but at least we're taking huge precautions. The stores are cleaning the shelves, from what I understand, and cleaning a lot more than just boar's head. They're making sure that everything is, I'm sure they're running tests and stuff like this as well. It's going to be a process, but we want to make sure that this issue is taken care of. Same with the vegetables. We've had a lot of vegetables that have been taken down. A lot of cleaning has begun. There are multiple issues with this, and I'm curious to see how it all plays out, where it all goes. We have to be cautious. We have to be careful. I put out a lot of videos over this weekend, more than I ever have in a given couple days. The reason for that is because this is something that is, a potential huge outbreak. Okay, and we want to make sure that we got that information out to you guys as fast as possible in case you had any of these items in your refrigerator or items on your counter. If these items are found that we've gone over, if you're new to the channel, go back a few videos. We have done a lot of our little coffee rants here where we have talked about the boar's head, the 200,000 pounds that has been recalled by boar's head, and all of the different vegetables that have been recalled by the part of listeria as well, that has been affecting Walmart, Kroger, Aldi. It seems like all major stores, and it's growing. Every time we look at the news, it seems like it's connecting with more states. So, as I always say, as we read through the different states and stuff in these different recalls, make sure you err to the side of caution, because we don't, it could go further. We don't know. These things seemingly just pop up out of the blue. So, anyway, the main point of this video here is, because of this, because stores are having to take and throw away a lot of product, they're having to rigorous cleaning. They're probably having other companies. Now, I don't know for sure, but I have read where companies are starting the cleaning process of this. It's got to be an absolute crazy madhouse in some of these stores on how they're having to clean, test products, do this, do that. It's probably going to be a rigorous cleaning process. Now, these costs, as we all know, will eventually be passed down to the consumer. We have seen, people say inflation. I feel we are entering the hyperinflation era here. Okay, I really feel like the next time, because we're doubling prices of what we're going to be doubling prices, most likely, on what have already been doubled. A lot of these prices are going to go up again. A lot of the produce, and it's not just for this. Okay, we've had massive issues with produce lately, with different areas of too much rain or too little rain, or fires. There's a lot of wildfires out in California that are just raging. There's so many things here at play, and all of our thoughts and prayers are with everyone out in California right now dealing with all the wildfires. It is absolute craziness. And all of our prayers are with all of you and your families. But as we move forward, this is going to be something that I think gets a lot bigger before it starts to clear up. Okay. These things have the tendency to do that. And because of the spread, because of how big this has gotten within just a week. Okay, within just a week. I have put out 6 videos over the last couple days on information that is just popping up from different recalls and everything else. And what I'm getting at with this is that you better believe that the prices are going to go up on every one of these products because they're losing money. They're going to lose money. And, you know, some places may take a hit here and there, but it's going to cause prices to go up again. It's going to cause all of these different prices like boar's head deli meats, and it may cause other deli meats to go up as well. If companies have to pitch their other meats because they were in cross-contamination with boar's head, right? Because we talked about before using the same slicers and different things like that, you know, we don't know. The knowing is the not knowing, or the not knowing is the knowing that we need to make sure that we're prepared on these things. So to people who are stocking up on things, to people who are trying to prepare a little bit for the future, I say this. Just be mindful of what you're buying. Be mindful if you are canning items. Make sure you are canning items that are, for one, not on recall right now. And there's ways that you can handle certain things. And I would refer you to check a lot of different ways to cook out these type of listeria and other things that could get in your food. If you can cook them out, I know with listeria, there's been talks of heating things up to 165 degrees, which will kill it. That's just what I've read, though, and I'm just the messenger. I'm not saying that that is what I've done or anything that I have tried, so take that for what you will. That is just what we've been going over from different websites that we've covered over the last few days. Now, it's a crazy situation because, you know, I know we're getting hundreds and hundreds of comments on the channel. People don't know what to do. They don't know what to buy. They don't know what vegetables to get. They don't know what meats to get. You know, I know it's been very hard to respond to comments, but I don't really know. I don't have any answers. And I'm just being upfront and honest about all of this stuff because I just want people to know that I really have no answers in this. And I'm not sure many other stores or any other people do either. This is something that is taking the country by storm here. And we need to make sure that we're catching all of these products and getting them off the shelves and getting the areas clean. And then you have to work on, okay, where are you going to get your product from now? Now, I know with a lot of the vegetables, Weir's Farm, Wiers, I believe it is. Weir's Farm is the one who has been, who have had the contamination of listeria, possible contamination of listeria that has been taken down on these stores nationwide. Okay, same with boar's head. Okay. Now, I do think it's funny, you know, they say the states and stuff like that, and we read nationwide. You know, it could even, and I'm just saying, it could spread further than just here. Okay, it really can, as we know what happened with the salmonella, and cucumbers were spreading out all over the place too, even beyond the states, okay, with possible listeria contamination. So I know these things as we go along, and there's been several people who have talked about recalls that we've already gone over. We are aware of the Snap Chill coffee products out of Wisconsin. There are now over 300. We said that was going to grow. Okay, this all is going to grow, right? I mean, at least it always seems to. It always does. Right? I mean, it really does. It's like when these things first come out, that's why I say, like, even if you're in a state and you think you're cool to buy this stuff, wait a few days. Don't go out and buy it right away. Unless it's an emergency, if it's a medication or something, talk with your doctor or something like that first. Because I don't even know what to trust as far as a lot of these products anymore. I was talking to Jess the other day, and I was just getting kind of stressed out by doing all these videos because you guys know me and Jessica love to do our touring videos, our travel videos, our fun videos, and stuff like that, which we are going to continue to do. And it's like it really does take, it takes a few minutes for me to gather up enough energy to get ready to talk a bunch of doom and gloom about everything that's going on. And the only thing that I can say that really keeps me together in doing it is knowing that hopefully I'm reaching people with this information, that it's helping you, and you don't accidentally go to the store and buy something that maybe perhaps has not been taken down off the shelf yet. You know, when we read things like the extended periods of different products that have been over the last year and a half, couple years, it's like, my goodness, like, how does it take that long to and what does that say? What does that say about our system of inspections and this? Like, has this really slipped through everybody's fingers for the last year and a half, 2 years? And that's only certain products, and that had nothing to do with Boar's Head or anything. I'm just saying, like, for a lot of these things, it's like, how do they go on for so long? Well, they're not being tested thoroughly, right? Or maybe they just stumbled across it, and maybe it was just a few, and it was enough to make the recall. So if we want to look at it from a lighter side of things, maybe they're being cautious. I tend to overthink, and I tend to kind of react maybe sometimes, but I feel like I do that because I always feel like, well, you tested a couple products, chances are there's a lot more than just the couple you tested. And that is why we have recalls. So that, you know, and that's why they throw words out there like potential and stuff like that. But guys, most definitely, this is going to cause prices to go up in the grocery stores. We have seen it. I've been through this for years and years and years. And since 2020 and beyond, I would say 2021 was really the, wow, what is going on here? You guys all know how this started. I have thousands of people on this channel that have been here from the beginning, who have been riding with Dano Strong on this channel. And it all started with items disappearing off the shelves. They were gone. People were calling me crazy, and it's like, I'm showing you the videos that I'm putting out here of things gone. Toilet paper, obviously, was a big one. But it was like bread, and that people were buying up everything. And I'm going around. I remember when I first started doing this, me and Jessica, we started doing videos on our tours and amusement parks and just our daily vlogs. And I decided to go into Kroger with a list that Jessica gave me, and they didn't have anything on her list for us to get to bring home for dinner. And I was upset, and I filmed it. And ever since then, I've been doing this ever since. Because there were people out there who were dealing with the same thing. They couldn't figure out where is this? Where is that? Where's the medicine? Where's the baby formula? Where's the diapers? It was like all this stuff. So many empty shelves. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And a lot of that had to do probably with a lot of people buying things that didn't want. And I hear you. And I've always said from then, I never encourage panic buying, but I can understand why people were. And then we start to fix a little bit. Things start to go back in. And then we said what we always say on the channel, things are coming back in. Okay, cool, right? And then we noticed for each product, maybe a month or two later, the high prices and everything, and you guys know what it started with, my Ritz crackers. I know it's funny, but that is what I stocked up on. I loved my Ritz crackers with my soup, and those were gone. Those were wiped out. And I wanted to make sure that I was well stocked on those, just because I really love Ritz crackers. And the price had gone up like $1, and it was like, oh my goodness. That was a lot for then. Now we look at it today, and it's like, for something to go up $1, it's like, well, it's not a shock. It is, but it's like, well, it's to be expected. A couple years ago, it was like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We better stock up on these sales as we see them, like I say, pretty much every day on our channel here. And then it was just a onslaught of price increases since. I remember I think it was the beginning of 2022. It was like near the end of 2021, and everybody was ready for all the holiday prices and stuff like that, and they never came. As a matter of fact, not only did they not come, prices were doubling on items that were holiday items. And then I remember at the beginning of 2022, we thought that we had stopped. We thought there was a pause. And then they went up. And then all of a sudden, empty shelves again. We started seeing items completely disappear again. Baby formula was gone. There were factory fires of baby formula, which that was one reason. And then we had, the cereal, where cereal was completely disappearing and everybody was blaming Russia and Ukraine. It's like, well, that just started. Like, why is this going up like crazy now? Which a lot of it, honestly, a lot of it has nothing to do with that. In America, at least. Other countries, absolutely. But we have been piecing together this jigsaw puzzle for a long time, guys. And I can tell you right now, with this event happening, with the produce and the deli meat, because this is going to affect a lot more than Boar's Head. And this is going to affect a lot more than the 20 items of vegetables that we have seen, right? Because the air moves. Everything moves. I really don't want to scare people in saying this. I want to make you aware, because I do feel like it's going to get worse. But if we know ahead of time and we know what the possibility is, then we know what we can plan for, prepare for, and add to our stocks. Add to our things that at least we know for now, and keep your receipts. Keep your receipts, because who knows what's going to be on recall, or who knows what prices are going to go up next week or even tomorrow. And I know, it's like, it's crazy times, guys. It really is. But these are events that we have seen over the last few years, and it wasn't because of a listeria outbreak. We don't even know why. Transportation issues, employee shortages, greed, massive production on things, maybe fear. Maybe a bit of fear from higher ups, maybe fear from these companies of maybe what happened in 2020 could possibly happen again. I want to get as rich as I possibly can before, it all hits the fan again. I don't know. These are just things that I have thought. What have you thought? Let me know down in the comments on that. But guys, I'm telling you, I speak the trends of things that have happened for the last few years, because whether it does or not, whether the prices skyrocket again, or products that don't come in for a while, or empty shelves in the produce or meat department or things like this, I could say at least over the last few years, we have kind of been trained to be able to work around things. Get creative with your meals. I may be back to my late teens, early 20s, cooking up the ramen and chicken, which is actually a pretty daggone good meal. It really is. It really is. And I'm kind of craving it right now. So it's cheap. It's dirt cheap. It's easy to make, and you can make it for a long time. You make big vats of vegetable soup. Cook that baby, let it boil, right? You'll cook everything out of there. I know we have a lot more viewers since the last time I made my big stock pot of beef vegetable soup, but I might do another video on it. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to see Dano make another big pot of his vegetable soup. I know I've done this video before, but it is fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to just do something that is more lightheartening. But we need to put this information out here. Been talking to a lot of family and friends lately, and some of my friends, good friend of mine, I was talking to, and he was telling me, Dan, he said, you have the ability to be able to get this information out to people as quick as possible, and whether I choose to do so is my choice, and and I've told him how stressful it is and all this, and but him saying that, it really it pulled on the heartstrings a little bit, because I was like, you know what? I do. We have a huge audience on this channel, and we're able to reach a lot of people. And it's like a lot of these things, especially, we cover a lot of food on this channel. We have covered the good sides of foods. with recipes and fun and just looking for great deals. And we've covered the dark side of the grocery stores, which were kind of in here over the last week. There's been a lot of dark side going around the country here over the last couple weeks. There's been a lot of things happening. Some stories I just kind of stay out of for right now. We may be covering more of these stories as they become more relevant in the future. Not saying that they're not now. I'm just kind of working myself up to being more comfortable in covering a lot of stories that normally I don't talk about on this channel, but may further in the future talk about some of these things, because it's important. It's important to get information out here. It's important that we all know the facts of things. No fake news on this channel. If I happen to read something and weeks later that it turns out not to be true, well, then it's like, well, I don't really, if it does, then we'll talk about it in a later video. 1 week, eggs are good for you. The next week, eggs are the worst thing that you could possibly eat, right? I mean, that's how it always is. I don't like I didn't like talking about a lot of these recalls at the start, because you guys know, most of you know, I like to do research for a couple days. I'm not the type of person that wants to get the information out there as fast as possible to get views or all this stuff. This is not for that. This is to get the information out to you as fast as possible, right? Because I don't normally like doing that. I like to make sure that what is on recall is actually a recall and this is truth. Okay, and that's why I talk about this in these videos, that look, this is fresh. Okay, so if something happens like a week later and this turns out not to be true, well, we got it from the FDA's website, right? Or we got it from Food Safety News or USA Today or NBC News or Fox News or wherever we found the information. But I felt this information here, we needed to get out as fast as humanly possible, because I didn't want people going to the stores or the states that are affected that we went over and getting your boar's head meat. Boar's head meat is probably I would have to say it's probably the most popular deli meat in the U.S. I would think. Private Selection at Kroger, I know, is high up there too. But boar's head would probably be number one. And seeing number one on the channel by far, because of how many comments we've gotten of people who have just gotten a bunch of boar's head meat. Now, hopefully a lot of it has not been affected. Some of it, just take precautions if you have. And, if you want to return it, get your money back. I mean, and I think they should honor that for anywhere, because, the more this goes on, there may be more affected. We don't really know. They come out and they give a pretty strict number of 207,528 pounds, I think it was. 207,500 something pounds of boar's head deli meats. Liverwurst, some of the ham, the bologna. I mean, it's like, geez, it just goes on and on and on. And, we don't know what else is affected with it. So, keep in tune with stuff going on. You can always Google. You can always go onto your Google search engine and type food recalls. Look at the FDA's website. Look at the FDA with the USDA website. You can check the FSIS, the Food Safety Inspection Services. You can check that website. And the couple I read from a lot are Newsweek, Food Safety News, USA Today. Those three seem to really break it down pretty well. As of late, Fox Business, for whatever reason, has had some pretty good broken down articles on it. Had a really good one on Good Morning America the other day. Very nicely broken down. Sometimes maybe they get a conversation with somebody that, maybe has an answer or something, or at least a well-educated guess on how it's going to play out or what. Well, let me give you a well-educated guess based on what I've been doing over the last couple years here, and that is be ready. Be ready for these things that we have talked about over the last few days to go up in price. It may not at first. So when it doesn't at first and we've been given the all clear, stock up on some of these things as they come in. Well, guys, I'm going to leave it at that for this coffee rant. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday. Get out, have some fresh air, get away from the doom and gloom for a little while here. Make sure you're paying attention, though. Make sure, you're stocking up on the sales as you see them. But do like we do here. We have a lot of people on this channel that are helping out their neighbors, that are always talking about things that are on recall, things that are happening in the grocery stores and beyond. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.